Now that the presidential race is over, the Dow that day soared more than 1,500 points.
So now investors are looking ahead to the transfer of power and what it'll mean for your money, your investments, and your taxes. It's a topic on the latest On Your Side podcast, so Susan is here with a preview. This is something that affects everybody.
It's on everyone's mind, right? What happens to me next? So that's kind of what we chatted about a little bit. A change in power means there will be policy changes. Our guest for this week's On Your Side podcast is Stevenson from Winston Companies Retirement and Financial Services here in Phoenix. We started our conversation going back in time to the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act that was enacted in 2017 by then President Trump. It's set to sunset at the end of 2025. If that happens, we could see tax increases.
A married filing jointly couple making $250,000 would see their rate go from 24 it is up to 33. So 24 to 33 is a pretty huge jump in their top tax bracket. That's an example of how something would change. Also, we'd see a lot of taxpayers flip back to those higher rates. Decreased child tax credits, Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, increased child tax credits. We'd also, though, see some additional deductions come back into the fold. Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, or the Trump tax cuts, eliminated some deductions back in 2017. So that's probably the only good thing, is to say, okay, if it did expire, rates would go up, but you'd have more deductions.
So because this was a Trump policy, the idea, conventional wisdom might tell you, he liked what he did last time around, and maybe we will see a continuation of this in his new presidency. It's
very likely, yeah, that he'll work to at least extend the provision or make it permanent.
I think for a lot of people, the tax policies and the investing, it feels so giant, so big. A lot of families out there are just going to their job, maybe contributing in a 401k, keeping that money there, not really thinking about it too much, trying to get on to, the next paycheck and the next paycheck. How much does a traditional retirement account like a 401k, how much is that actually impacted by a change in power?
I don't really think it's ultimately going to matter all that much over, let's say, a 40-year period, right? The markets have been known to do well under Democrats, under Republicans, so I don't think you need to have this fear that because Republicans are back in or Democrats are back in, that the market's going to do this or that or the other thing, right? I think the tax environment has a lot more to do with it, again, because those accounts are all pre-taxed, those 401ks, those IRAs. The tax environment has a lot to do with it, but it also has a lot to do with how much you participate as the earner, as the saver, and as the eventual retiree.
There is a QR code on your screen right now that'll take you right to the podcast, where we also chat about the potential for tariffs on all kinds of consumer goods. Remember, you can get the On Your Side podcast on any of these platforms, including our AZFamily YouTube page. So it was a pretty wide-ranging conversation. And like I said, it's on everybody's mind.
Of course.
What's next?
Yeah, absolutely.